How are you doing? Today I want to talk about the actual Tonglen practice. It will be a very brief and condensed version because normally it takes at least a weekend to go into the details of each step. But anyway, I hope this will be helpful, especially if you already know something about the Tonglen practice. As you know, in Tonglen, we use our life breath, breathing in and breathing out. But in this particular version, breathing in and holding the breath for a little bit and then breathing out. We use our life breath as compassion. We're breathing all the time, so when you do this practice with the in-breath and the holding the breath and the out-breath, you are developing a compassionate mind. With the in-breath, we are taking in suffering. It can be our own suffering of body. It can be our suffering in the mind, in our feelings, in our Dharma practice. It can be somebody else's suffering of body or mind, or a group suffering of body and mind. We have many, many different things we can focus on. We take it in with the in-breath, and we breathe out healing for that suffering. We breathe out joy and peace, and in particular wisdom, so that we breathe into the situation the knowledge of how to deal with it intelligently, wisely, kindly, peacefully. But in this particular way of doing the practice, the important thing is to identify with who you truly are, who each of us truly is, our pure, liberated mind, Buddha mind, whatever you call it. Inside you is perfect peace, is a wisdom beyond imagination, such clarity that just knows. And there is a love so unconditional, so perfect for you and each and every sentient being. And there is power to help. So this Buddha mind, we learn to identify with it and to feel it in our heart center. You can imagine your guru there if you have one. You can imagine Buddha there, or Chinrezig, or Tara, or Guru Rinpoche, or simply that presence. The perfect combination of goodness, such goodness, and it is powerful and it fills you with light. Your whole body, your whole aura, your presence is that perfection. And this is what we identify with in between the in-breath and the out-breath. It is to that purity that we bring the suffering, because in there, and really and truly in there, in the truth that is in you, are all the answers to your suffering and to the world's suffering. This is not playing around imagination, it's the truth. So we take the suffering there, and it is from that place that we breathe out the answer, the healing. So the suffering, we imagine that we are breathing it in as dark, black, ugly smoke. And that smoke feels like the suffering. So when somebody is lonely, the very feeling of it is loneliness, that person's loneliness, or heartbreak, or that person's physical pain. It feels like that. And as we are breathing it in, we are taking it out. It's like taking pus out of a wound. We really feel it is taking it away. The situation is lighter. Second by second, we really are removing something by breathing in. And as it comes to us, it cannot go beyond the nostrils, because inside us, this perfect space of Buddha mind can dissolve any suffering. In the text, it says it's like a block of white-hot iron, and a drop of water cannot survive. It's gone. Not slowly, not with difficulty, gone. These days you could take the example, of black holes in space. Whole galaxies can disappear in there in seconds. So this is not a black hole, it's a white space, a white hole. No amount of suffering can survive in it. As soon as it comes to us, it cannot survive. It's gone in the goodness, gone. And in Iceland they have these geysers, such powerful steam coming out the ground, but by the time it's got 50 meters in the air, it's gone forever. So whatever pain we take in, as it comes to us, we're feeling its pain, but it's gone in the perfection of Buddha mind. And in between the in-breath and the out-breath, we hold our breath. Not painfully, but as best we can. And we just stay totally with that Buddha mind, the goodness that's deep inside you, that's the real you. And then with the out-breath, from that place of goodness, then white light streams from our nostrils. And that light is a light of wisdom. And it is telling, for instance, if you're dealing with your own suffering, it's telling you, it will be telling me, Ken, look, this is what you need to do. It's like the Buddha, or Chinrazik, is looking at you and giving you perfect advice. Perfect advice. So this white light breathes wisdom into the situation. It has a feeling of healing, like a healing balm on a wound, like taking medicine, something for a headache and the pain, suddenly it's going. So we are breathing wisdom and healing. And there is a feeling of joy, a feeling of generosity, that you really do have something to give. That lovely feeling when you can give somebody something that they need. And you are breathing peace. Peace means the end of the suffering and of its causes. When we breathe in the suffering, like let's say it's your own trouble, maybe physical pain, then we're aware that just like us, many, many other people are going through this, and maybe much, much worse. And we think, if only by taking this dark smoke of my suffering, I could also take away theirs. And we imagine that's really happening. It's like lightening something up. We're really removing it. And as it comes, it goes to this place of perfection where it cannot survive. The goodness that's in us all. And we stay with that goodness in peace, shining like the sun. And then as we breathe out from our nostrils, white light breathes the wisdom, the answer, not just into ourselves, or if we're thinking of another person we know who's not well or who's going through a difficult time, breathes it into them and through them and into so many, many other beings suffering the same or worse. So even though we can be very preoccupied with our own suffering or a friend's suffering, we always make it more and more universal. The feeling is very important, to feel the pain when we breathe in, to feel it going as it reaches us, to feel the goodness in between the in-breath and out-breath, and to feel the relief and the beauty and the peace, the generosity as we breathe out. Now, in these difficult times, and times have always been difficult, there's always been suffering. This virus thing is only one example, but anyway, I'm thinking, if you are facing death, then you'll probably be unconscious before you die. But do this process until you're no longer conscious. Breathe in the suffering, be with your Buddha mind, breathe out the healing and the wisdom. Then your last conscious thoughts in this life will be very, very helpful for your dying process. Tonglen is a wonderful practice. I hope you can get more instructions than this, Maybe I can give some more instruction. I don't know. I have some things on YouTube. I'll probably put a link. But for now, please practice this, if you will, if you like, if you care. Tonglen is one of the greatest gifts the Buddha ever gave us. You're always breathing. And your life breath can turn your mind, which wastes so much time in trivia, into a mind of constant compassion. And this is what I wish for myself and all of us. Go well, my dear friends. Go well. May the Buddhas all bless you. Really and truly. I wish that from all my heart.